Okay. Let's get this party started. I was in L.A., coming back from L.A., working in studio. TSA guy says, hey, go Steelers. Boy, I looked him in his eyeballs and said, how the last 3 weeks been going for you? Boy, you should have saw. He goes, then tried to play victim. So let me go ahead and let this victim play while I read some of these other victims. Glassman 7-2. Oh. Steve got his Ravens jersey underneath that hoodie. He ain't fooling nobody. He ain't fooling me. First of all, I don't have my Ravens jersey underneath this hoodie. My Ravens jersey is hanging up in my closet with my Panthers, my Hornets, my Bayern Munich. I got jerseys of all sorts. So I'm not hating. I'm just telling you, Russ ain't very good.
Seriously, what did Russ do to these guys? The hate is insane.
I like Russ as a person.
Yeah, me too. I know Russ.
My question is, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, are you happy? If the season ends right now, are you re-signing Russell Wilson as your quarterback of the future? Are you?
You want me to answer, Steve? I can answer as Steelers.
Hold on. Before that, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear from them. I invite you to leave comments on the page. We will read them. I want to hear from my people, my community, because I needed to understand what I'm dealing with. See, I know fans, but when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers, I now am understanding fanatics, and I understand it, and I get it. You think I hate Russell Wilson? I don't know Russell Wilson. I'm just saying I know ball. And your quarterback's struggling. If he does not go through his progressions, you cannot do anything. Najee Harris is an outstanding running back if you give him the ball 40 times. 40 times equals 100 yards. But he lacks the explosiveness that you need. If you don't have a good running game with the Pittsburgh Steelers, then your pass, the moon ball, whatever you want to say, the passing game is ineffective. And I'm sorry. That's just the point. You've seen it for the last 3 weeks, and it will continue. And you need to be afraid, very, very afraid going into the playoffs, because no one is fearing Russell Wilson as a throwing quarterback. I'm sorry.
Steve, what did I tell you after I went and covered that game between the Steelers and the Eagles and did some intel talking to people within that Philly organization? What did we talk about on the show after that? The Eagles did not fear Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I wanted you to say it because if I say it, I'm a hater. I'm a hater.
A couple of facts for you because I kind of dug these up. First time they've had 3 consecutive losses by more than 14 points, Steve, since 1988. First time they've allowed more than 25 points in 3 straight games ever. Second time in the last 35 seasons, the Steelers have had a negative 50 point or worse point differential through the course of 3 games. This is not a good 3-game stretch. What we talked about at length about this 3-game stretch that the Steelers, the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Texans were going to go through in 11 days was going to tell us a lot, right? Didn't we say that? We're going to find out a lot about some of these teams going through these 11 days, 3 games surrounded around Christmas. What did we see from the Ravens and the Chiefs? 3-0. From the Steelers, 0-3.
Bro, I'm knee deep in these comments.
1-2.
I'm knee deep in these comments right now, bro. Look, Chris Childs 368. Russ must be one of the greatest talents ever if he's had all the success he's had and can't read a defense. Man, Russ gets the most hate even though he's a Hall of Famer. Russ made Tyler Lockett better. That was a great connection.
It's a good deep ball connection. Moon ball was good.
I'm just baffled. Man, I'm just baffled at reading all this stuff that it's like, and I love, like, if I say anything bad, all of a sudden I'm a bum. I'm a hater. I don't understand it. I don't want to play. I don't want to play football anymore. I selected and chose to retire. Now, will we retire at some point? Yes. But you don't see me out here trying to run routes. I ain't put on a pair of cleats in a minute. Even when I do train guys, I don't even wear cleats. I wear baseball turf shoes because my feet, my dogs do not do well in cleats anymore. My body has adjusted to not playing football.
Civilian life. Yeah.
Civilian life. Now the question is, have you ever played football?
What's going on? James Palmer here, and let's get real for a second. You see the underdog graphics flying in and out of the show 89 with Steve Smith and myself. Well, you're probably wondering, what are these? Well, what they are is it gives you an opportunity to participate, to start playing. You can use the promo code UD89. You can scan the QR code and you can start playing instantly. Dive right in and you can win $1,000 bonus cash like that. You just got to pick higher or lower. So remember, scan that QR code. Use that promo code UD89. What we do here at 89, we give you analysis, we give you breakdowns, we give you the news. We love that you're here. We love that you're watching us and hanging out with us. But now, when you do this, you get an opportunity to find out if we actually know what we're talking about.
Have you ever played football?
Are you asking me, Steve?
No, I'm asking the haters.
Oh.
Yeah, James was a kicker in high school. James, you laced him up.
Yeah, Falcons could have used me. Listen, the other thing that I think plays into this, Steve, and we weren't hating. We were being, and this is being misconstrued, realistic about what we were watching throughout the season. The recipe was this. You turn the football over as a defense. What do they got? 31 turnovers this year. Best in the NFL, tied atop the league. Plus 15 turnover differential. Second best in the league. If the defense isn't turning the football over, that's a formula that was playing in to what's happened these last 3 games. It was aiding during their success. When you mentioned the run game, their yards per carry, they're one of the worst in football. They do stick with the run, and I do give them credit for that because they
have to.
They have
that makes
to
the offense go.
But when you look at the way this was built, they were making opportune plays in the most critical moments.
Yep.
And what you and I were assessing was, is that sustainable throughout the course of a season? That you are always going to make on either side of the ball the biggest play at the biggest moment. That's hard to sustain when you're living on that fine of a line by the way your offense and defense were playing. So that's why we were being critical of whether this is sustainable. And what we've seen over the last several weeks is if a couple of those things are not happening, i.e. the defense causing a number of turnovers and getting off the field, and Russ being able to connect on a couple of these moon balls. What did we see in Hard Knocks, Steve? Did you watch Hard Knocks? The Ravens were sitting there going, this is a 3-point or layup quarterback. There is no mid-range game. I love a mid-range jumper, by the way, but there is no mid-range game to Russell Wilson's game. The Ravens had it, and when I talked to people with the Chiefs, I said, preparing for the Steelers, is there any similarity to preparing for the Ravens? They said it is night and day. You have to prepare nonstop for a Lamar Jackson offense. Preparing for the Steelers, which they can be good and it can be effective, they can make plays, is a very different offense to prepare for than, say, some of these other offenses in the AFC in the postseason. So we're being realistic in the way that this thing was lining up, and was it sustainable? The other part of it is the red zone offense is not good. And they need it to be good to win football games. You know where they rank in red zone offense when I look this up? Second to last. The only team worse is the Giants in terms of scoring touchdowns in the red zone. So the main point of this is a lot has to go right for the Steelers to be successful.
That's not a good formula.
That's not a good formula. And the other part, to answer your question from earlier, Steve, I think their options are limited. I think Russell Wilson is their option at quarterback moving forward in 2025. I'm curious to see what their options will be. And that might be what's best for us and what's best for the Steelers. This is the spot that they're in right now, whether the comments like it or not.
Yeah. Well, all I do know is the Baltimore Ravens won. The red zone did not improve. And we're going to see once the playoffs goes how things shake up. I wouldn't be surprised if these two teams, like usual, meet in the wild card divisional round somehow, some way, and then we'll see.
Appreciate the comments. Like, subscribe.